Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Bozo Chronicles. I fucked up, and Johnny Provolone, shout outs to you. You put me on blast, but not meaning it in a bad way. Put me on blast, let me know that I told that Bocron in an earlier video. So he says now he feels I owe him too. And you guys run this channel. I'm just a talking head. So I'm gonna give you one of the two. I gotta keep racking the brain. I got a second one that I can kind of tell. It's when I get my ass kicked and I'm bloody. I don't know if I told it before, that's the only thing. But I might do that. But here's a Bozo Chronicle. Here's how I waited. You gotta be very patient when it comes to revenge, because let me explain something to you. Let's say somebody does something to you and you're in an environment where it's a controlled environment. For this case, the place I was at, options, you know what I mean? Where it was, you had to have something wrong with your mental health or physically, or both. My situation, both. You know, I'm a fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and plus I got TBI with a fake skull. And I got another disability. Like, it's hard for me to kind of move around easily, because I gotta wrap my fucking cock around 2 times around my waist, or it's gonna fucking drag on the floor. No, I'm just kidding. My thing is like, baby dick. Just kidding. I was in options though, and I don't know. I just came out of prison, and you know, so I know how to move. You know that. You know, I know how to respect boundaries, then, and you know, and privacy, blah blah blah, all that talk, and I locked my door anytime I left to go smoke a cigarette outside before I started smoking cigarettes in the house, and then eventually vaping so I could do it when staff was there. I'm not there now. And but when I used the bathroom, I didn't lock my door. You know what I mean? I didn't feel I needed to. And I was the only one who had a router and a computer and paid for internet service, because I had a big TV. Eventually, me and my fiance bought a 55-inch, babe?
Yeah.
A 55-inch TV, you know, with, you know, and we would just watch YouTube, you know, and anything we had to do on the computer. My TV is my TV screen, computer screen, monitor. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, fellas, ladies. And when I went to the bathroom, I come back thinking everything's good. Now, fast forward a little bit. How much little bit? I'm not sure. I don't remember, because it's just a little while ago. And I was arguing with this other person we lived with. This guy, Mike, lived right next door to me. Like, I could tap on this wall. That's his wall. That's his room. His room was like a third the size of mine. And it was dirty and it stunk. The guy didn't shower. My fiance could tell you, 'cause she lived there 2.5 years rent-free with me. But I had them shook and I had them leashed up, and they knew not to open their mouth, and they didn't open their mouth. But I'm not here to flex. But one time I had an issue with the guy that lived upstairs, and I said, yo, because he said he didn't have any more money on his food stamp card, and I said, yo, you full of shit. Like, that's impossible, because he owed me money, and I spotted him food, you know, whatever the case may be. I thought he was full of shit with his food stamps. So I didn't want to get my phone. I didn't feel like it. That guy, Mike, was right by me. So I said, yo, Mike, let me use your phone, because I'm going to call his food stamp card right now, check the balance. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, that's no problem. Here you go. And he gave me his phone. He's like, you got to use text now, though. And I said, yeah, but for text now, that only works with data or Wi-Fi. And I know you don't got data. So only Wi-Fi. So you using my Wi-Fi right now? Yeah. Oh, that's a dub. Like, that shit is over. Like, after I did what I had to do, make the phone call, I settled this shit with me and the guy upstairs, I had a problem now. Definite problem. And I had kind of just got there. I might have been there a month or whatever at that time. The guy upstairs was throwing in with me on it, so he had full access to the router code, so his phone had the Wi-Fi and he could do all movies and videos quicker, stuff like that. This guy didn't want to pay, so he didn't get none of it. And when he didn't pay for his phone, he didn't get no connection. You know what I mean? But apparently when I shit, he went over into my fucking room, my own private space that you don't go in. It's like going into someone else's cell or into someone else's cube up in prison. You'll get yourself shot. He went into my room, lifted up my router, and it comes with a generic password and router name. Comes like that. Everybody knows that, and then you can switch it yourself later on after. And I didn't get to that point. I didn't feel I needed to. So he went in my room and did that, and he was sneakily on my router without paying. Just watching pornos, Pinky, and doing all dumb shit, phones and whatevers. I said, I'm gonna get this nigga. I'm gonna get this guy. I wanted to fucking fight him. And then when my fiance moved in and she knew what happened, she would say, like, how are you friends with this guy? Like, why are you so cool with him? I said, you gotta understand, like, I am not cool with him at all. This is me playing chess with my reality and with life. I don't manipulate a single person. I respect people that have that power to manipulate and get over on a person. I have a thing where I get over on my whole reality and control it the way I desire my reality to be. That's a lot of people, and you have to play chess and plant seeds in a lot of heads and do a lot of shit. Takes a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error, a lot of failing and getting caught out there, but that's what I do. And I'm not going to tell you everything about it because the only one that knows me for everything, my fiance. She's the only one. And there's a lot of work to control your whole reality. It takes a lot of work, but she sees it. I can get myself out of this. I can get that done. I can get that person to do that for me. Like, there's a lot I could do. But enough of that dumbass flexing. That was just what I did to explain to her. Like, I'm playing chess. Like, the motherfucker's done up. But, picture this. I'm in a controlled environment. Everybody's safe. Every time I wanted to put hands on that motherfucker, he would call me. He knew. He would call me in the room and smoke me out. But, smoke me out. And I would say, yo, you got me right. You got me hot. I'm out. He'd be like, nah, nigga, you ain't leaving. Like, we got wild bud. I'm smoking you up. Because he would smoke me up to calm me down every time I wanted to fight him, which was pretty much every day or every other day. And he would smoke me up. And I'd be off, in my room. And I would go to bed because the motherfucker would smoke me out. But I know it takes patience, because if someone does something to you and then something happens to that person or something is done, you're going to be a suspect, because it's going to be you they look at that you're playing tit for tat or whatever, trying to retaliate against what he just did because you made a big stink about it. So what I did was waited almost the whole year, got him to think we are tight, we are boys. Guards bend down, not just down, bend down. He put the drawbridge down over the moat to let anybody come in, horses, soldiers, anybody, no guard up. So, all right, I had this. So, I know his demeanor and the way he moves. His money's no good. He tries to hold on to stuff, think he'll forget, buying and selling. Because I used to buy and sell my clothes and just other things I have. I would do to him upstairs. I would do to the kid Mike too. He bought my black trues. He bought stuff off me, and that's a good ending. I'll get to that when the ending comes. But I figured I'm gonna get this nigga. He had his mom come in and live with him, and my girl heard like even porno being played while they were in their sleepy time. So he was catching money next to his mom. Hopefully she was sleeping, but even if she was, that shit is creepy as fuck. I don't know what's up with that. That might be some Hills Have Eyes type of shit, you know what I mean? I don't know. But proof is in the pudding. You know, she said it happened. You know what I mean? But that's how weird the kid was. Never showered. Never. Not once in a blue. Never. Period. Never. And I would always ask him before I got my fiance, like, yo, what's up? Like, you getting girls? Like, what's up? Because I like black girls, you know. Like, what's up? What's up? Like, where these bitches at? We in a bachelor pad. Like, where these girls at? Nothing. Never. Just some fucking shack-sized guy over in another options house that was level 2. That I already told the story. I tried to fight them both at the same time. He jumped out the window, broke a fence to get in his car. Like, they didn't want no smoke with me. And my girl was even scared, you know what I mean? And I threw my weapon on the bed in my room and said, yo, I'm trying to do both of you right now. That was when he was trying to play fight, he said, but talk to a grown man. Grown men don't play fight. We don't play with our hands, you know what I mean? You just ask me, that's basically S my D, suck my dick. We fight. And he folded like a lawn chair. He wasn't ready. Like, knock, knock, knock. Who the fuck's there? Another motherfucking hard rock, like ODB said. But let me move on. So I had another computer set up because I just did, like a tower, monitor, keyboard, mouse, you know, whatever, speakers. So I had an idea. You know, his mom was living there at the time in that little fucking room. I don't know what they were doing. I gave him the monitor, the keyboard, and mouse. I said, yo, hold on to this. I will give you the rest, the computer itself, the desktop part, when you pay me. But for now, just hold on to this shit, you know, just to remind you that, you got to pay me to get the rest of the shit. Look out for your mom, look out for somebody she even knew about like that, and that she was going to possibly have that computer for son paid. I knew he wasn't going to pay. So I was never gonna have to give him the tower. So one day, I say 911. Yo, I need an officer here. My room's been robbed. I don't know if it was a house burglary. I don't know what the situation is. I need to report it, so at least it's reported. Had the police come down. I had them, do the report. My room's robbed. That's left it alone. That was it. Like, if you hear anything new, let us know. All right, thank you for taking time out to write the report. This happened and it's fucking with me. It took the shit right out of my closet. I don't know how that's possible for someone to just walk in and out and do it when I wasn't here. I almost feel like it was one of them, but I ain't pointing fingers like that. But thank you, officer. It left. I gave it a week. And this is a year after this nigga violated me by going in my room. A whole year later. So I go in his room to smoke with him. As I'm sitting on a chair, he's got his little, desk like that. And I was sitting on a chair here, and past the desk, I seen the monitor and the keyboard. I didn't see the mouse, but I know it was there. Just like sticking, like probably on a chair. I forget what it was. It was like on a chair that he had over there. So I said, today's the day. Fuck it. Today's the day. So I walked away from him for a little bit. I was like, I'll be right back. He was even gonna hook me up with one of his sisters. I was even gonna get with one of his sisters, but I got my fiance, so I didn't need that. But so I go in the kitchen, 911. Yeah, I made a report a week ago. I found exactly what I reported stolen from my room. It's in the room next to me. This guy had every opportunity to take it. Why? I'll explain it to you when you're here. When they came, I explained it to them. I changed the lock because I didn't want staff to have a key or just to be in that room no more. Like, I had it where it was either a key or a touchpad. At the time, it was basically my birthday, a little off, but basically my birthday, so it was easy to, to tap to get in. It was easy for my fiance to remember it. And I said, him and his mom were helping because they recorded that sound, and it's exactly like a phone. So all you gotta do, you know, you compare the sounds, and then you just figure out just by the sounds and repeating the sounds on the thing. That's how I do it, at least. And I was like, and they must have figured it out. I was like, really, he's not too bright. So his mom probably put him up to it and helped, because she's the only thing that changed and added to the equation. And my stuff is right in that room. And before that, the mom was even saying, I don't think she was there at that time. I don't know, but I don't think she was there at that time. But when it first happened, like when the cops were called, she's like, oh my God, the monitor and all that shit is gone? Like, I was supposed to get that for Christmas. Oh, man. Like, yo, you just, like, made it even worse for you guys, because the shit's in the room, and the room is, like, the size of my bed. It is a small room. You know the shit's there. And for you to act like it ain't there and you had no knowledge of it being there and it was stolen, I don't know why you basically were my receipt. You know what I mean? Like, you made it look like it was legit what I was saying. You made it gospel because you said that, knowing that it's right in the fucking room at the time, maybe in the closet or right there, you know, saying it was missing and I was supposed to give it to you for Christmas, possibly, or your son was. You just basically was my receipt. So when the cops came, I used to have a camera, the Ring doorbell type of fucking thing. It was Arlo or something like that, where I just had it over my door because I'd see if any staff did anything or planted anything or walked in, because every staff wanted me out of there with black eye. And I don't mean a physical one, like with something. They wanted me to go home, get out of there with something. The fastest way to get someone out of there without, you know, waiting for the courts to evict, the whole eviction process, is the law. Get them arrested, see ya, you know what I mean? So I always had that camera as proof of everything, anything they said, and whatever, it's on the fucking camera. But they told me I had to take it down for HIPAA rules, and they put up 2 cameras outside, which is crazy. But I took it down just to appease them, and the cop said, do I have any videotape of him doing that? And I was like, no, I was told to take the camera down. He was gone at this time too. Like, he was there when it happened, but he left. And you know, when I was talking to him, I was like, no, I don't have no camera up because they told me to take it down. So you got it back. They got it back for me, my stuff back, and they gave it to me. And they were like, well, if you had it on camera, we would get them for, I don't know, it wouldn't be burglary, but it would be like petty larceny, grand larceny, whatever the case may be. So I was like, all right. So the officer left. I don't know if I asked him in person or if I called back the 911 to speak to an officer that came, you know, to talk to them there. Let's say, for argument's sake, for this storytelling, I asked him while I was there. So you're saying if I don't have it on camera, it basically didn't happen. You need it on camera. Someone could rob any one of these rooms. You could rob each other. And if it ain't on camera, it didn't happen. That's what you're saying. I'm sorry, but yeah. Say no more. So he left. And I'll just walk over and get it, you know? Basically, I mean, I got way more in storage, you know, like, I robbed them, you know what I mean? Not just the 5950 hats. I got a shitload, every 5950 hat he owns. I got everything I ever sold him back, my Trues and my Ralph Lauren's and my LaCour, everything I ever sold him, right back. I got him for everything that had value to me. You know what I mean? That I said, yo, that shit is proper. He doesn't have shit. He didn't have shit, but I got him. I robbed him. And then when he came back, because I think he had to leave, or he wanted to leave because he seen shit was too rough, or he had to leave because of the chess moves I already set up. I set the chess moves up, planted seeds prior, let the seeds sprout into something bigger, and then have my own kind of receipts. to make everything in a combined circumstance gospel. Everything I said was gospel. So I don't know if they got him out because that, but, or his mom being there, whatever. As soon as he came back in his room, he was telling the staff, he's like, yo, I got robbed. I got robbed for all my shit. Because he didn't have nothing no more. I did. I had all the shit. And after he left, I heard the staff laughing and saying, that's ironic. You know, he goes and robs somebody's room, and then he turns around and gets robbed himself. You know, and they laughed it off. And when it comes to it, I was never robbed. Never. I just know how he was gonna move and react to all of that. The mom gave me that added boost of another receipt to make it like, gee, thank you for saying that. Acting like you didn't know that that shit was in there, meaning it looks like you guys were hiding something and working together. If you see what I'm saying. So that's the Bozo Chronicle. He's the Bozo because you're violating me by going in my room and taking that Wi-Fi password, the generic one that comes under the modem and stuff like that. I waited off, played it cool, played it like I was your best friend, smiled and everything. Always trying to just about kick your ass, and every day you would smoke me out under the table to get me calm again. So I got a rage problem, a short fuse, where I'd go back in my room and he felt safe enough. And then I pulled him and his friend's card in the story I already told, and they both folded like lawn chairs, you know, like in your backyard, like putting them away in the shed. But yeah, I got him for tons of shit. Everything I ever sold him, got it back. So my black True pants right there in the closet, you know, a shitload of 5950s. His shoes were corny. I got him for a pair of, I don't know if they were ups or dunks. I mean, yeah, ups or dunks, but I wound up, you know, practicing my sneaker customs on them. So I don't care about them. They're in storage still, I think. But yeah, that's a Bozo story. I hope you guys can appreciate that, appreciate the chess moves and the patience, and take all the stuff I tell you and learn from it. Because I'm telling you, you can't react sometimes immediately. Like I would just like to just Hulk smash, you know what I mean? Just hit anybody or anything that gets me out of my correct train of thought, angers me, or puts any emotion that I don't like in me. I want to physically put harm into your face, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can't do that, so you gotta play chess. And that became part of my reality. He welcomed himself into my reality, and I control my whole reality. Therefore, I wanted him to get some sort of suffering and punishment for what he did. And I'm very patient. You have to be patient, because the longer you wait, the more you're not a suspect. Just like when like a spouse dies, the husband's always the suspect, or vice versa, you know what I mean? You're always the first suspect. That's like this. Like if I would have reacted and done something as soon as like that happened, like made a big deal about staff that he did that and then did this, it would be a tit for tat, or me trying to pull something. I waited a long enough time, it looked like we were fucking friends, so friends wouldn't do that. But just watch out who you fuck with, because there's some people who will play that fucking position for a whole year to get you back. They can't put their hands on you. And some people are dangerous, not with just their hands, with their mind. And hope you guys enjoyed. This is one of the two that I owe Mr. Provolone, you know what I mean? So, iPhone angels, you have a good time.
What do you think of that? One second. What about this one?
Wow.